Again, thank you guys all for being here. We have Councilman Chavez that wants to just share a few words with you, and we'll get started from there. Thank you.
Thanks, Jose. Okay, well, welcome everybody. Pretty good turnout for tonight, huh? Get out of the heat and the humidity, come here, have some cool air and some good food. What better way to spend your night, right? Well, thank you for coming. I see a lot of new faces out there, and that's a good thing, because if you haven't been to one of these meetings, you're in for a treat. We're going to hear a lot tonight about public safety, disaster preparedness. We're going to talk about stats and things like that, and then any questions you may have, I'm sure the officers and Jose would be glad to answer those. So hopefully you have a good night. Make sure that you go back for seconds. We got plenty of food, so feel free to go back for seconds. We don't like to send any food home, so you can do that. Just want to be a reminder, I know that many of you got the flyers, and if you haven't already, up here at the front, we've got a couple of things coming up. We have our National Night Out, which is Wednesday, August 6th, and that'll be at Temple City Park. Great event. We have a lot of booths, a lot of information there, and of course we have free food, but not tacos, we have hot dogs there. So, but feel free to come out. Make sure you get a flyer Wednesday, August 6th from 6 to 9. And then we also have Coffee with a Cop. Okay, Coffee with a Cop will be held this year at Cloverleaf over on Las Tunas, 9475 Las Tunas. That's July 31st, and that'll be actually in the morning. Obviously coffee, right? 8 to 10. So come by there. I think Captain will be there, right? Okay, you should be. You better be, right? I don't know. That way you can ask questions and everything you want as well. So a lot of opportunities. Usually I don't do this, but I want to do this tonight. And I want to get a big hand for these gentlemen that put this together. We have from our sheriff station, we have Deputy Bowie, Deputy Anchando, and our new deputy, okay, Felix Ignacio. So how about a big round of applause for all three of them? They do a great job. They are what we call our dedicated deputies. Of course, many of you know we have our station in Temple City, but that serves a bigger area. These three gentlemen actually serve our city and take care of us and the needs that we have specifically. So it's a great thing. Also a reminder that once a month, we also have a meeting with our deputies to go over crime stats. That is, the entire council meets with them and goes over the crime stats for the last month. And that is usually the last Wednesday of every month. And that'll be at the community center right next to City Hall. And that starts at 7 in the morning. And of course, we offer free food, breakfast, okay? So feel free to come by and learn about the stats. You're gonna get some of that information tonight. And of course, we have Jose Amaya here, our public safety supervisor, who will be presenting tonight as well. So enjoy the evening. Make sure you get plenty of food. And again, on behalf of the City Council, thank you for coming and thank you for keeping an interest in our safety, because as you will learn tonight, we can't do it alone. We need you to help us. So thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Councilman Chavez. So I'm going to invite Deputy Bowie to come up and start off our presentation.
It's Ignacio Felix. You told me wrong. It's not Felix Ignacio.
Oh, sorry, we go by last name first.
Oh, it's Ignacio Felix. So Deputy Felix. There you go, right? All right, good.
Hello, everyone. Again, thank you for coming out. I'm Deputy Bowie. That's Deputy Anchando, and that's Deputy Felix Lopez over there again. Just want to say this is introduce you to our team. My part.
Keep changing his name.
Just what we just said. He's got 3 names now.
He has 3 names. Okay, tonight's topics, again, we're going to do, but again, I don't know if we have the flyers for you, but these are topics that are happening right now, so we can always change it for the next year. So if you have a topic that you would like us to kind of go into, we can also look into it and go into that as well. But our main ones are going to be burglary, residential burglary, theft, emergency preparedness, and traffic and pedestrian awareness. Those are kind of the things that are happening in the city now that we are going to introduce you to. And at the end of this, you can have questions for us. We'll all be here to answer any questions for you. So what we do have is our crime trends for the cities. Crime trends affect Temple City and neighbors throughout. Our main one in the city is actually burglaries, and theft. Those are our, what we call Part 1 crimes. So that's what we mainly focus on. What we do to try to reduce it and stop it as much as we can is that you'll see all the deputies out there. We actually have different kind of things that we use. We actually do undercover work. We have our flock system, which is our camera system that helps us do more investigations on different vehicles. We do joint operations with our Major Crimes Bureau, other SAO teams from other cities when we need them. They're actually available for us as well. We actually have volunteers on patrol. If you want to become a volunteer in your city, there's always opportunity for you to become a volunteer for the city. If you have any questions on that, you can contact one of us and we'll give you the information so that you can be a volunteer on patrol. Again, and another one is our area watch with you guys being here. But you guys being here is one of the additional resources that we have as communities. Because you live in this community, you know your neighbors, you know who's supposed to be here. That helps us because if you notice someone not belonging in the area, you can always give us a call and we will come out and check on it because you know your neighborhood better than we do. We drive by, we notice a car, we know somebody, but you know that they should be there or not, or they shouldn't be there. So your help helps us deter a lot more than you think. So always call us if you need us. Information sharing. When we have all these crimes, we actually contact the cities next to us to see what they have or if any of their criminals are coming into our city. And that's how we share the information so we know it's happening in other cities as well, which they are. Community education. Again, area watch meetings, which we do have. This is one of them. Health Out and Business Watch. You know, we look at commercial businesses, what they're doing, what we can do to help prevent these crimes. So this is what we call the crime stats that we do at the end of the month for the city. You're going to see them later because we actually have to introduce this to the city council before we actually put it on our presentation. So you'll see a month behind. So as you can see, you're going to see the May stats. June stats are going to be at the end of this month. So if you want to come by the end of this month, you'll see the June statistics for the crimes. So in our city, we have no homicides, no rapes. We have 3 robberies, 6 assaults, 17 residential burglaries, which is very high. So that's one thing that we are actually working on very relentlessly, but we need your help. As you can see, it's very high from the other years. Commercial burglary, we had 7. Vehicle burgs, theft, they're all high. So at the end of May, we had 57 what we call Part 1 crimes. It is actually one of the highest ones we've had so far. And the next month, we've been actually working very hard trying to deter what we can, but we need your help. As you can see, by the end of for the total for this year, we've had 225 Part 1 crimes. It's actually getting higher than we want it to be. Which you'll see in the next statistics is that you'll see we are up 81% from last year, from this time. Residential burglary is 81, commercial burglary is 75, vehicle burglaries are 5%, grand theft is a little lower, petty theft was up, but our Part 1 crime is up 51% total in general. So we need your help to protect yourself because as you remember, most of these are preventable. Again, criminals, what they want, they're going to get, but they are preventable. Some of these crimes, pretty much all are preventable with your help. So as you see the comparison from 2022, 23, 24, 25, 2024 we had the lowest one so far. It was really good, but this year so far it is creeping up really fast. And the numbers are getting higher and higher, so we need the community's help to try to slow this down as much as we can. What we can do, as you can see, this is a crime blogger. This is what all of you residents can have, and it shows every crime that happens in the city. Deputy Echando is mostly the one that does it. Deputy Felix will be helping out, and I will do it when we're available. But Deputy Echando is the main one that does all the crime bloggers. He reads all the reports for the city, and then we actually enter it. Again, as you can see, we don't put anyone's actual address. We just put the 100 block and what the crime is, so that you can understand. So you can see the trends that are going on, that how burglaries are happening. And if you look at it, it's almost 90% the same kind of burglaries that are happening. So this is kind of an idea so you know what's happening every week. And then here, that's the end of this for the statistics. Debbie Chano is going to be doing our residential burglary.
Can you guys hear me in the back? So we're going to start with residential burglaries, and this is something new that the city and our department created together. So I think we handed them out to all of you. Does anybody not have a little handout for basically basic tips on burglary prevention? If you don't have one, I'll pass it out to you. Everybody's got one? Perfect. So that form there is kind of a summary of what I'm going to go over, a little bit of a summary of what the next video that you're going to see goes over. That's something that is easy for you to maybe put up on your fridge at home, and just, you know, if you're going on vacation, there's a section there about things you can do before you go on vacation to sort of help prevent burglaries. We tried to break it down into different categories to make it easier for you guys to make some use out of it. And so if any of those categories apply to you, there's little tips and tricks that you can use to try to help make your home less attractive to a criminal. And so we're going to get into the presentation now, but as my partner said earlier, it really does take the entire community to help bring crime down in your city. The three of us here, plus the couple of guys that do normal regular patrol, we do as much as we can. We go out and we drive around as many different streets as we can, but there's only so many of us and there's only so many streets we can be on at any one time. In this room right now, there's roughly 30 of you. And there's another 3 of us here. And if everybody took a street, that's 33 streets that are now being covered instead of just 3. And that's kind of the message that I'm trying to get across, is all of you know and understand which cars belong on your blocks, which people belong on your blocks, who looks out of place, which car looks out of place. And the more you take a peek out your window, look around when you're pulling out of your driveway and notice those things, the more you can call us and have us come out and investigate that stuff. Not every phone call may turn into an arrest, but at least the people that we do contact understand that A, the citizens and residents are out there monitoring their neighborhoods, and B, the sheriff's department is out there contacting everybody and just making sure that there's nothing foul going on in your neighborhoods. And so we ask that if you do see anything in your block, on your block, anything in your city that just looks out of place, to call the station's business line, provide as much detail as you can so that any of us can go out to that area, drive around and try to locate what you saw as being suspicious. Now, rest assured, when you do call, the dispatcher is going to ask for your name and phone number, but we will not ever give that out to anybody that we contact. We will not tell those people that's who called us. It's going to be anonymous as far as we're concerned. We're just out there doing our job, and you guys are assisting us in doing that, and we'll never out you and put you out on blast. So we want you to feel comfortable calling us and providing those details, knowing that you can remain anonymous. And with that, we're going to get into the first video. The guy who's going to speak in this video, he has quite an extensive criminal history. So you're going to sort of get a perspective from the criminal's side of what they look at when they want to burglarize a home.
I really never broke into houses, but I learned a lot from guys that got a lot of time in prison. There's this one guy, he's doing 256 years. He told me this is how he did it. He'd drive in a van, he put company signs on there, like carpet company, moving company, signs on the van, have them made with, magnets or whatever. They'll even go rent a U-Haul and go scope out the neighborhood. One of his easiest thing was sometimes he saw where people left their house key because somebody else had to come and get in. Somebody didn't have a key. They see a cracked window open, they're going to get into that cracked window. They got ladders. Hey, there's a lot of money in that house. Make sure all your windows are locked at all times. Don't be leaving your garage open and letting people see the inside of it. Like if you're outside doing your yard, don't leave your garage door open. I know you feel comfortable, you're at your house, you can, yeah, well, I'm out right here in the yard, but you're giving the opportunity to a thief to see what you got inside your house, to see where your door is at. You're gonna see a company van thinking it's a company van or a U-Haul, and it's not. It's thieves looking at your house. Yeah, this is the one we're gonna hit. One thing you gotta be careful with, you gotta be careful who you're hiring to come to your house, to fix your plumbing, to do your carpet work, to do anything. The guy that you're hiring might have some help that's a thief. He's scoping out the area, making sure there's no alarms. The best thing to do is tell your neighbor, you know what, these guys is gonna come in, they're gonna come and move my furniture, I won't be here today. Neighbors gotta help your neighbors out too sometimes, you gotta put, the community got to put their part too. No matter where you're at, you could get broken into because you're not paying attention to your surroundings when you leave your house. That's all I gotta say.
So he provides kind of their criminals aspect, and we're going to kind of go into ways that you can help prevent some of the things he was talking about from happening to you. For starters, kind of like what we tell our children, if anybody is a stranger at the door, don't open the door. That holds true for all of us, no matter what age we are. However, what a lot of the current trend is that these guys will go up to your home, they'll knock, they want to know if somebody's home. So while we encourage you to not open the door, we also ask that you do interact with them verbally. So if you have, say, like a Ring camera system, activate the microphone function, ask them what they want, tell them you see them, let them know that you know they're there. Because when they come up to your door and they knock and no one answers, you ignore them, they think the home is empty. And that's a home that they want to target because they know or they think that no one's inside of it. So at that point, they're probably going to go to your backyard, find a window that's open or break one that's closed and go inside, and you're going to be home, and now you're going to be face to face with that burglar. That's definitely something we want to avoid. And it can be avoided simply by going to your door, to your window, and letting them know, hey, what do you want? Please go away. I called the police, they're coming. Anything to let them know you know they're there and you want them to leave. So that is very important because that is a huge trend in current burglaries. They're looking for homes that are empty. They have no problem walking up to your front door and knocking. The guy who knocks may not be the guy who burglarizes your home. Sometimes they'll send a different person up to see who's home. They'll go back to their car and drive away. 5 minutes later, a different car is going to drive up, and that's the person who's going to jump into your backyard and burglarize your home. Which is, again, why it's very important for you to note any suspicious people or vehicles on your block and call us, because these criminals are getting a lot more sophisticated and they're committing their crimes in a manner that's a lot harder to catch. They're using multiple vehicles, multiple different people, different crews, different teams. They kind of work very similar to how we work. When we're trying to go after and catch somebody, we will surveil, we'll take pictures, we'll look for methods of travel. These criminals are doing the exact same thing, and they're using multiple cars, multiple people, all different times of day, whether it's in the morning or at night. So it is very important for us to all be aware of what's happening on our blocks. One other thing, if you do happen to open your door, let's just say it's a female who's like, hey, oh my gosh, I lost my kid, I need help. Please open the door, please help me. what you don't see waiting around the corner are the 3 guys that are with her with guns waiting for you to open that door. As soon as you open the door, they come running in, they kick your door in, and now again, you're face to face with burglar. Once again, all can be avoided by just not opening your door, but still interacting with them verbally, through the door, through a window, through your Ring camera, however you feel most comfortable. Try not to keep large amounts of cash, jewelry at home. I understand jewelry is a difficult one. Cash is an easy one. That's what banks are for. Put your cash in the bank. Stop keeping it at your house. Jewelry, on the other hand, I get it. We all have stuff we like to wear on nice nights out. So what can you do to try to protect that? Invest in a safe. Get a good quality safe. Put your jewelry in it instead of leaving it thrown about on your countertop. My girlfriend is just as guilty of doing that. No matter what I tell her, it always ends up on the dresser top, but we need to get away from that. Because that's what these burglars want. They're going in there, they're taking small, easy items to carry, such as jewelry and cash, and they're running out. Long gone are the days of them coming into your home, taking your TV, your computer. They want the easy stuff that they can quickly sell and offload without making it obvious that they're running around a neighborhood with the TV in their hands. So invest in a good quality safe, but bolt it to the ground. Because what good is a safe if they can pick your safe up and walk right out the door with it? They're going to get it open eventually. So now you're out of safe and your jewelry. If you take the safe, put it somewhere in a closet, somewhere not easy to see, bolt it to the ground, your items inside there will be much safer. Try not to keep your doors, windows, blinds, garage door open. Close it all as much as you can. I understand we all like natural sunlight in our homes. It looks good, it feels good. But as best you can, try to keep your house sealed up as much as you're able to. If you're downstairs and you want the windows open, but you're downstairs, that's generally okay. But let's say you got a 2-story home, you're downstairs. When you decide that you want to go upstairs, close all the windows and doors downstairs, go upstairs and open those ones. Because while you're upstairs, cleaning, vacuuming, watching TV in the shower, doing whatever it is you're doing, downstairs is open. That burglar's going to come, he's going to see an open window, he's going to take the screen off, he'll be inside your house wandering around and you would never know it. And that has happened more times than I like, whether it's in Temple City or any other city. It happens because people leave their windows open. So please close your doors, please close your windows when you're not in that room. Another thing that thieves are looking at when they see an open garage, an open window, they basically have a little snapshot of what's in your home. Take your garage, for example. Let's say you're out doing whatever. You leave your garage door open, but you have a really nice car or a really nice bicycle or something that looks valuable. That thief driving by in the car sees that, and he wonders what else is valuable in that home. If they have a $100,000 car in their garage, I bet they have a lot of other nice, valuable things inside the home. You just made your home a target. They may not get you right there in that moment, but they're going to come back. They've noted your address, they know where you live, they know you have nice things, they'll be back. Try to eliminate that from happening by just simply closing your doors, closing your garage, closing your windows. Social media. Most of us probably have it. Most of us probably post everything on it. Try not to. Or at the very least, try not to do it when you're on vacation and gone. Because that tells me this person's not home. They're in Hawaii for the next week. What does that mean? That means that house is vacant and ripe for a burglary. Because they know no one will be there and no one's going to be able to get there anytime soon. There's nothing wrong with using social media. There's nothing wrong with posting on social media. But try to save all those pictures from your fancy Hawaii trip until you get back from your trip and then post about it. I promise it's okay. Your friends will still know you went, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at least this time, you're home while you're posting, so if somebody did think you were gone, they're going to come and they're going to see your car in the driveway, they'll see you walking in and out, and they're going to leave your house alone, or at least move on to the next one. And that sucks for them, but at least your home is safe. Different little methods that you can also do to keep your home a little bit safer. Lighting. Any criminal doesn't want to be seen, doesn't want to be caught. While currently many of our burglaries are occurring during the day, there are crimes that occur at night, there are burglaries that occur at night, and that's where lighting becomes important. Specifically, motion sensor lighting. Any lighting is good, but motion sensor lighting is the best type of lighting. So let's just say you have a porch light that stays on all the time at night. You know that light's on, it comes on at 8 p.m. every night. So it means nothing to you. You're desensitized to that light. However, say you have a porch light that is motion activated, and it only turns on when something activates it. So anytime that light turns on, it's going to draw your attention to it, and now you're going to wonder, why did my porch light just turn on? Maybe it was a cat, maybe it was a person. It draws your attention to that activity, it makes you cognizant that something's occurring, and then you should go investigate it. Whether that's opening up your Ring app, taking a look at whatever it was that activated that light, looking through the peephole in your door, pulling a curtain back at your house. Anything to go and check why that light was activated. So motion lighting is the best light, but any type of light will work. Surveillance cameras, also very helpful. Sometimes when these burglars are out driving around, doing their homework, scouting for houses, that is definitely something that they look for and they look at. They say, that house has 10 cameras, that house has 0 cameras. Do I want to get seen or do I not? It pretty much comes down to that. The more cameras, the better. But again, with the lighting, any number of cameras is better than 0. All you can afford is 1 camera, then 1 camera it is, because it's still better than 0. However, make sure you understand and know how to use your surveillance system. Because if you happen to become a victim and we need that footage, or maybe you capture something from a neighbor's house, we're going to come up to you, we're going to ask you for the footage, and it's very helpful if you already know how to pull that footage off your system and provide it to us in the moment. Because sometimes you guys will have workable information. You might have captured that particular person's face, or the vehicle they came in, or even better, a license plate for that vehicle they came in. And rather than us spending a week trying to figure out those items, we can get to it within 5 minutes and start looking for them right away. So having surveillance system is important, but it's even more important to understand how to work that surveillance system.
Can I piggyback on that? On the last couple of burglaries that we've gone to, we surveillance houses next door that have cameras, and a lot of them, my camera doesn't work, I forgot to recharge the battery, and it happens a lot. We laugh about it now, but see, those are techniques that we need to help solve these crimes. And when we go out for the neighbor's help, my battery doesn't work, the sensor doesn't work, I don't know how to use it, and then if they don't know how to use it, when they finally get to use it, the data has been deleted. So you have to know how long your video camera stuff stays on your system. It may be a week, a month, or 2 months, but you should know how long it saves all that information for you. Because if you don't have it today, tomorrow, and when you figure it out, when we ask you for it, you find out, oh, this is how it works, it's been deleted and we don't have any of the information anymore. Sorry, I just want to jump in on that part.
Another thing you can do is window film. Basically, it's sort of shatter resistant. Nothing is shatter proof, but it's shatter resistant window film. I don't know every company that makes it, but I know 3M does make residential window film. So you don't have to get 3M. but that would be a good website or a good company to Google, and then you can kind of do your own research, find a company or a budget that works best for you. The goal with that is let's just say a burglar decides your house is the one that they want, but you have that window film. Ideally, it will prevent them from shattering your glass within less than a second. It might take them a few cracks. They may get in, they may not, but the point is that all takes time. And if they have to sit there jammering away at your window 3, 4, 5, 6 times, each one of those hits is time and noise. It's noise for you to hear, noise for your neighbors to hear, and time for us to get there. So I think it's a good investment. It's not cheap, but it would be a good investment because anything that prolongs or makes it more difficult for these people to get into your home is always better. Window locks. So there's multiple types of locks. The cheapest and easiest method is to go to any store at Target, buy a little wooden dowel, make it the length of your window frame, and stick it in the window frame. So that when they try to open your window, it doesn't open because the slide is blocked by that little wooden dowel. Also at Target, they have little metal alligator clips. You can stick those in your window, and then they kind of screws into the frame a little bit. All of those are very easy, very cheap methods to keep a window or a door secure. Door would generally be, say, if you have a back slider, that would be a good place for the dowel or the little alligator clips. Windows as well. Door and window sensors. And also, we're going to have to update this for next year, but electric box. It's another good place to put a sensor besides your door and your window. A lot of thieves these days are going to your electric box and they're shutting off the power to your home because that turns your cameras off. No cameras, no footage of them. Now they can do whatever they want. Also, oftentimes will turn your alarm system off. So putting a sensor on your electric box, no one's going to touch your electric box. No one should be touching your electric box. If that one goes off, you know for a fact that something is happening at your home. However, doors and windows are also very important places to put the little sensors. And I keep using the brand Ring because I own it. I don't endorse it. Whichever one works for you, works for you. I just understand how it works, so that's going to be the example that I keep using. So at my house, I have those. They're basically little stickers. You put one on the door frame and one on the door itself, and when the door opens, the sensor triggers. And then you can name each of those sensors. So I have one on my garage door, for example, and I know when the garage door sensor opens, my phone gets a notification that says garage door opened. And I know exactly which door was opened and at what time it was opened. So at that point, if those sensors are being triggered, unfortunately, you're a victim now, but at least you know it. And you can start calling 911 and getting us there much quicker. So if you do use surveillance system, sensors, any of those things, when you get those notifications on your phone, it's important that you don't ignore them. Otherwise, what's the point of having it if you're just going to ignore the notifications all the time? So if you do see those notifications, call 911 if you're local to the area. But let's say you work in downtown LA. Calling 911 will get you downtown LA's dispatcher. It will not get you us. So in that case, what you want to have saved in your phone is Temple Station's business line, the 626-285-7171. It's in your packet at the back, I believe. So save that number in your phone. If you're away from home and one of those sensors gets triggered, call that number, tell them what you've got going on, and they will send us out there. If you're local in Temple City and one of those sensors gets triggered, then call 911 and have us go out there. Professional alarm system, pick a company. They're all worth using if you know that you're going to ignore the notifications on your phone, or if you just don't have time to monitor it yourself. Then you can pay a company like ADT or any number of other companies out there to monitor it for you. They will call you when something triggers, and they'll make sure that either everything's okay or it's not, and then from there they'll call us if they need to. So it's not a bad way to go about things if you're just super busy and don't always have time to check your phone yourself. Zillow, Redfin, and any of those type of sites offer a service. If you contact their customer service, you just go to their website, find the customer service email, contact them, tell them you're the homeowner, and ask them to remove the photos from their website of your home. Now, why would you want to do that? There's a number of reasons, but one reason, we go back to time. We want the burglar to spend as much time there as possible because that gives us more time to get there and catch them. Well, if I have a photo of every room in your house, the layout of your house, I know exactly where I need to go, I know exactly how I need to wander through your home, and that may only be 5 or 10 seconds, but I promise you that makes a difference. I can speak from personal experience. There was a call we had in Temple City. I got to that call. Had I got there 5 seconds earlier, I would have got the guy running out. I was about 5 seconds late. He had made it to the car and he was already gone. So seconds really do matter in that type of case. And so removing the photos from your home can add a few more seconds because now the burglar has a little bit more homework that they need to do. They don't have the layout of your home readily accessible just by Googling your address. And the last thing for this slide is if you know you're going to go on vacation or you're going to be away from your home for an extended period of time, the station will do patrol checks of your home. Very simple. You just call the station's business line, that 7171 number. Say, hey, I live at 123 Main Street, and I'm going to be gone from July 1st to July 31st. Can you please send a deputy out to my house to do patrol checks of my home? They'll ask you a few basic questions. They're going to want to know if anyone's going to be there. For example, maybe you hired a dog sitter. They're going to want to know what cars are in your driveway, and then a few other little pertinent details. So just give them all that basic info, and they'll let us know that you as a resident request a patrol check. Costs you nothing but time it takes to make that phone call. And once again, pretty much it all comes down to if you see something, say something. The city has put signs up throughout the city. There's 3 of them. I think one on Olive, one on Las Tunas, and Cloverleaf, like right here, I think. So, and now here we are telling you the same thing. And it is really important. I don't think any of us up here can say that enough. As cliche as it really is important and it really does matter. So if you do see something, please call the station's business line. If it's an emergency, you can always call 911. So those are the kind of the differences. 911 is for emergencies. The business line would be, hey, I see a suspicious car. I don't know who's in it. Can you check it out? 911 would be, hey, I see somebody running into this backyard or running out of the front door.
Is the business line 24 hours?
All the numbers are 24 hours.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure, because I thought if it's 9 to 5, it's not going to be real good. You guys,
No,
9:30 at night there.
Somebody will always answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a business line, it can be a 911 line as well. If it's you call the business line and go, hey, this is an emergency, they will activate it as a 911 call. So, but the 911 is directly just for 911. But if you do use the landline, the business line, and you need to call and it turns into a 911 call, just let them know and they will activate it as a 911 call.
And then I'll end mine on just 1 second. If you do happen to become a victim, as unfortunate as it may be, it is a reality that we do have to face. So, things you can do after the fact, or I guess what you should do now, and then you can have it ready for us after the fact. So for insurance purposes, but also so we know what we can list on the report as being stolen, it would be prudent to have a list of valuables in your home. Anything with a serial number, have a list of those serial numbers, firearms especially. We will put anything serialized in what's called the automated property system. And if any law enforcement anywhere in the country comes across that serialized item, any one of us can run that number through the national database, and we will all know that item was stolen. We'll know where it was stolen, who the victim is, and a phone number to contact. So it's important that if you do have serialized property, have those serial numbers handy, and we can put it into those systems for you. Also good for your insurance, because they're going to want to know if you make a claim, what was taken, what the value is, and as much information about those items as possible. I think that's going to be it.
And it's definitely tough when a burglary happens close to home. It kind of brings it all, makes it sort of reality. So sorry that happened to you and your neighbors.
And yes, the dog sign, it can't hurt. Anything you can do to deter someone from wanting to go to your home is always a good thing to have.
Absolutely. So one of the big things that we want to do in these meetings, I mean, it's important that you guys are all coming out to get this information, but we want to make sure that you understand how you continue to stay informed with what's happening in your area. How do you use this information? How can you report it? How can you just stay alert with certain type of activity? So I want to bring your attention to some of the items that we do on a regular basis to kind of help push information out. If you haven't already subscribed to it, but the Crime Blotter is a weekly updates of activity that are happening in the area. So it tells you all the types of crimes that are happening within the city, specifically Temple City, and you can use that and kind of gauge, how close are you to this type of activity? How, if you're, and maybe you see it, but you can share that information with your neighbors, so that way they can become aware or get them connected, so everybody can have this information as well. I'm a visual person. I really like crime mapping, crimemapping.org. If you go to that website, literally you can put in your address and it can show you, it'll plot all the different types of crime and activity that has been happening within your area. And you can just kind of play with it and just kind of get a better idea, just so that you have that awareness. I don't want to scare anybody with that, because sometimes you see it and it's like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that, just depending on the time frame that you're searching, that you can kind of filter out to get a better idea. But it is a really good visual in terms of seeing what's happening where. Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers is an important one to kind of be aware of. If you've ever had some suspicion about some activity that might be happening maybe around your neighborhood, maybe up the street, maybe there's a house that constantly has cars coming and going at different hours of the night, and it just doesn't sit well with you, Crime Stoppers. So Crime Stoppers will allow you to go in, log on, put in the information, you can put in an address, you can have a really brief description of the activity that's happening there, and that goes directly to our deputies so that they can review it. Now, quick note on that one. This is not for something that's happening right now. So when I say that is, if you see and you look outside your window and there's a suspicious car sitting outside that window out there, you're not going to want to go to Crime Stoppers for that. You're going to want to call the sheriff's station directly so they can have somebody go out there right then and there. But if there's something that's happening within the area and you want it to kind of look into a little bit further, you can definitely go to Crime Stoppers. You can leave an anonymous tip. You can provide as much information as you want. It's up to you, but it's a way to bring awareness to activity within your neighborhood, so that can be looked into a little bit further. The request tracker. So the request tracker is actually a Temple City program. So this is something that you can use to bring attention to city staff about something that we need to address. And a perfect example for that is, maybe you live on the street and the street light's been broken. Well, a dark street's going to attract a certain kind of element that you might not want, but if you let us know, we'll have our crews go out there and fix it. So you can use the request tracker to address those kind of issues. Maybe somebody stole a sign or got hit by in a car accident. Those are things that you can report on the request tracker, and we'll have our public works crews go out there and take care of those kind of issues. So,
Excuse me, does that include public works type stuff?
absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So overgrown
They
trees.
fix some holes, and the next tap block has 3 more holes in it that they didn't fix.
Yep, so they can get, and maybe it was out of their purview, maybe they didn't recognize that, but it's something that if they knew that it was there, they can go out there and take care of that, yes.
They seem pretty good about filling in the holes.
So for instance, like on my street, across the street, there were 3 different curb damages. I literally took a picture of each and reported each individually. Just because you have one, don't expect them to check the entire street because they're there for a specific purpose. So, you know, if you have a curb damage, you can use request tracker. They're very responsive. If you see people dumping large furniture or something by somebody's whatever property, unfortunately, that also is a bad element that can attract people. So you can also go online to report that.
Absolutely. All right, but you have all this information in your packet, so you can definitely keep it and check on it, you know, in the future. But this is a good way to kind of just stay connected, stay informed about stuff happening within the community. All right, guys, so now we're going to talk a little bit about emergency preparedness. And the importance of being prepared, right? We all know, I mean, we've all heard it, be prepared, right? What does that mean? What are we going to do to be prepared? How are you going to take care of yourself and plan in the event of an emergency? So here are some steps you can take, right? You're going to want to have a plan. Develop a disaster plan, an escape plan. 2 different things, right? A disaster plan is what are you going to do in the event of, what kind of materials you're going to gather for yourself in order to, you know, sustain during that type of an emergency. Having an escape plan is understanding where you're going to go. How are you going to get yourself, one, out of your house? And if it's something that's happening kind of regionally, where are you going to go and coordinate with your family to meet up and, you know, be able to hunker down somewhere safe? Do you have a good telephone tree to be able to contact somebody that's a little bit out of your zone that you can use as a go-between, kind of like to parrot some information, so you can contact somebody that's maybe out of state or, you know, maybe up north that can help, and everybody knows they're going to call, you know, hey, we're going to call Aunt Sally up, you know, up north, and she's going to be able to relay updates to everybody that's whatever's going on. Keeping supplies. So we never know where we're going to be. So it's a good idea to have a supply kit at home, at work, in your car. Enough to kind of get you through it. I mean, at the bare minimum, a first aid kit in your car just because you never know. But you want to have materials available for you in your kits. Hazard mitigation, that's just understanding some of the dangers that we have to deal with within our area, right? I mean, in January, we dealt with a massive windstorm. Our neighbors dealt with some fires. If you never thought that wind could do that kind of damage, now you know. We live in earthquake country. If you're a native Californian, you know that this is earthquake country, so you need to be prepared. And how are you going to deal with some of those issues? But some of the things that a lot of people don't take into consideration, heat, right? When it gets hot, it gets hot. How are you going to deal with extreme heat in our area? Extreme cold sometimes, heavy rains, flooding. Those are all different types of hazards that we are prone to in this area. So be aware of those things. Try to think about some type of supplies that can help you address those issues in order to be prepared. Get trained. So if you aren't aware, there's a program called Community Emergency Response Team. So Temple City has a dedicated CERT team, and anybody can participate, anybody can go through this course. It's run typically through the LA County Fire Department, and it teaches you a variety of techniques from just preparedness, awareness, safety techniques that anyone can do. And if anybody was interested in participating in that, I mean, you could definitely contact me and I can give you some more information. We're always looking for new members to join our team. If you're not CPR trained or just wanting to have an understanding of how that works, I mean, you definitely contact the Red Cross as well. They can provide you additional information on just some training and survival techniques in order to help you through these types of situations. So, what are we looking for? We need, right, again, we talked about 3 kits, one at home, one in the car, one at work. Minimum of 3 days of supplies per person. Categories that you want food, water, utilities. You need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Now, you think about how long you need to be able to sustain for that. I mean, that adds up really quickly. I don't know how many people want to have a bunch of just 55-gallon drums in their garage just to store water, but you need to be aware if there's ever a situation with not having access to potable water, that could be an issue. So, figuring out a way to be able to have access to water. These filter straws, good idea. There's a way to gain access to water using filter straws. They have a variety of them on the market that you can use. Not a bad idea to have in your kit. Food. I don't know how many of you guys have seen these multi-type kits. They sell pretty much anywhere. And it's a bunch of powdered food that you can just kind of throw in there. If you're not one to want to develop your own kit, at the very least, right? It's all prepackaged for you. You just kind of add water and there you go. But one of the things that I recommend, if it's not something that you would eat on a regular basis or something that you don't like, then it doesn't really matter because you're never going to want to touch it anyway. So, it's just because we see things on sale, if it's not something that you like, if you don't like cream of mushroom soup, why are you going to buy a case? It doesn't make sense. So think about what you like, how you like to cycle through your food. And one thing that I recommend in doing that is make it a twice-a-year check. Go through your pantry, just rummage through the old stuff before it expires, ideally before it expires, because then you can actually restock your pantry because you use the stuff in your pantry. And then you put the new stuff in your emergency kit, and that way you're extending that kind of shelf life for the items that you have. And you're always going through items that you enjoy. Also, kind of take note if you have any kind of special diet and you need certain type of food to be in your emergency kit. That's something to take note of. Utility items. So you just never know how things are going to go, what you're going to need. But having rope, gloves, tape, magical duct tape does wonders. Tarps. Cash. You don't think about cash when you think about utilities, but if you can't get to an ATM, everything's shut down, you're going to need some kind of cash or something to be able to barter with in order to get some supplies. So something to think of. Yes, ma'am.
Someone reminded me, don't make it all large bills like 20 cents because you might end up paying like $20 for water.
That's an excellent point. Right, you want to have a variety of cash available to you, so not just a bunch of hundreds. So you want to have just a variety of bills that you can access in order to kind of keep things available. Tools, just hammers, screwdrivers, you just never know. So you want to have some kind of hand tools, just resources available to you while you're building your kit. It's not easy building a kit. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of thought. It does take a lot of space, depending on how big your kit goes, depending on how big your family is, and how many resources that you want to have available. It's all individual. Something is better than nothing. I always encourage some people to have something available in the event of. But as long as you take that step, you're moving forward, so it's okay. If you don't know, we do have a Temple City alert system. If you have not already subscribed, you can definitely just text this number, AlertCC, or 888-777, and it'll sign you up, and we will send out information regarding activities that are happening within the community. If there's anything that would ever happen and we had to evacuate or just advise about certain areas, it's good to be in that loop. And also in your kit, in your package, you have just different resources that you guys can look into and just kind of help you get to where you need to go when it comes to your emergency preparedness. I really like ready.gov. Ready.gov breaks down a variety of different types of kits and just emergency preparedness tips and techniques that you can use to get you there. Like I said, the Red Cross, CalOES, which is California Emergency Operations Services, FEMA, and then again, because we are an earthquake country, we have a variety of just earthquake information sections there. So if ever you guys have any questions or you want more information, please, this is my direct number. Again, my name is Jose. I'm Public Safety Supervisor for the city. If you guys need any information, don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be more than happy to go through any of this information with you. All right. Now we're going to get into some vehicle perks.
What was the extension?
4342.
Again, everyone, hopefully they can hear me. This is a little easier for me. Vehicle perks. 90% of the time, it is very preventable. Has anyone ever heard of a brand new car out of a lot get broken into? None. Because there's nothing in the car. There's no belongings that is seen, right? I know it's funny. It doesn't make sense. It makes little sense. It's funny. But the honest truth is, they won't go into your car if they don't see anything. Anything you leave in there is something for them to take. It may be nothing to you. I know we have a lot of our Asian community here. Asian people and everyone, your lunchtime. You have your lunch bell. You leave it in the car. You park in the parking lot. Someone's going to drive by. Someone's going to walk by and see, ooh, there is a lunch bell. A lunch bell may have a lot of men. We don't like to carry our wallets. Old school, you have this big old thick wallet, so you're not going to put it in your pocket. So where do you put it? In your lunch belt, in your car. Simple. We don't think that it's going to happen, but we do that. And guess what? Someone's going to walk by and break your window and take your lunch belt. Your keys of the house might be in there. Your wallet. Other personal belongings. Ladies like to leave her purse out in the open, but we'll put a jacket over it. Try to hide it. Thieves, no. If you don't have anything inside an invisible way, they're not going to even look at your car. They're just going to walk away. Not even take any interest to it. So, a lot of our Asian people, we like to keep those bags. Handbags and all the other shopping bags. And guess what we leave in there? Tupperware, fruit, or anything else. And guess what? A criminal's going to walk by and go, ooh, that's a nice bag. There's something in there. They don't see what. They're going to break your window and just take that. It may be $2, $3 worth of Tupperware, but you just lost $200, $300 for a window that was just shattered just for a bag of Tupperware. Criminals don't care what they take. One day they may hit a car that may have Tupperware, but then the next one has a nice purse, it has your wallet, it has credit cards, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to go shopping. They're going to have a shopping spree. And it's just a game of lottery for them. They might get one, they might get two, but sometimes when we get these reports, man, these criminals get the lottery every time. Someone left $3,000 in their car, and they just came from the bank, went to left the money in their car, went to Starbucks, come back out, broken car, $3,000 missing. I wonder how that happened. Remember, this is preventable. Be aware of what you're doing. Sometimes, a vehicle burg is different from a residential burg. They're different stats, but they're almost the same. They have to have force. Some people just don't lock their door anymore. Just like residential burglaries, some of these homes, if you actually see the May, we had almost 6 or 7 of the homes, doors were wide open while they're gone. Windows were open while they were gone. That's how easy they are. And you think about it, how did they find this house that had their window open, no alarm system, no camera system? These criminals just get the lottery every time. So in saying that, make sure you lock your door. When you park your car in your driveway, I know we're all busy in our daily lives and everything else. We have kids. You know what? I'm tired. It's getting home late. Let me just leave my backpack, my purse, my wallet. in the driveway. Oh, it's in my driveway. It's a gated driveway. It's easy for them to come to your house and just look. So be very careful. Don't put anything in your car that they will look and see an interest. Just like anyone. If anyone saw $100 on the floor, would you stop? Yes, right? But on a regular floor, you can see it. There's nothing. You're just going to keep on walking right by. So don't leave anything that they can see. And again, a vehicle burglary is force. It's when they break into your car, they pry the door open, there's some kind of damage that they had to forcibly come in. That makes it a felony. But if they go into your car, your door's open, it's what we call a petty theft or a grand theft, depending on the value of what was stolen. So that's the difference of the crime. This is a short video. It's actually true, and you can see it. Any of you can laugh, but I'm pretty sure each and one of us has had this happen or knows someone that does this all the time.
This is how crooks used to get into your car. But sometimes they have a much easier time of it. They just look for vehicles left unlocked. This guy finds an unlocked car right in the driveway. Nothing inside worth stealing, but then he grabs the electronic garage door opener, giving him easy access to the house. And there he goes with 2 bikes. And sometimes even the police forget to lock up. This guy got into an unlocked cruiser and gets away with a rifle. He was later caught.
I lock my car everywhere.
To find out how bad the problem is, I spent a day with the Mount Pleasant Police Department in New York State, along with Inside Edition security consultant Steve Cardian. First stop, a shopping center. And look what we found. Door after door left unlocked.
Another unlocked car.
Easy pickings for any thief.
What size shoe do you wear? Wait a minute, I see some sunglasses in there. Is that a glass case?
Yeah, that's my wife's glasses.
Oh, your wife's glasses.
Yep.
How do they look?
They look marvelous.
All right, goodbye. And they all say the same thing. I was only in the store for 5 minutes.
That's the common answer we get. And it's more of an embarrassment that they have let something so simple possibly ruin their day.
You could look inside on the seat. There's a wallet.
What?
Looks like car keys to this car.
Oh my God. If you're a criminal, you've hit the jackpot here.
But what this woman left in an unlocked running car while she was shopping was priceless. Her young child.
I'd like to know why you would leave this car unlocked and you have a child in your car, ma'am.
Come in here, feel the car. Is it high?
It's unlocked. Somebody could take your child. Aren't you worried about that?
Bottom line, just press the lock button.
Can you do me a personal favor?
You
Just
want me to
lock
do-
your car up.
I will be happy to lock my car up.
Thank you.
But you see, when you're questioned about it, oh, it's not me. I just did it for a second. Nobody wants to be a victim, but as you can see, how simple it is. You know, when you go on vacation, there's not much stuff you have to put it anywhere, right? You're coming out with a backpack, your day, you know, stuff you go for the day. You're taking it with you. These criminals know that you left. You're here, tourist area, they're gonna know you're a tourist. Everyone knows a tourist when they can see one or the car. The plates are different from a different city, it's a rental car, and guess what your valuables are? In the car. The best way for that is always put it in your trunk prior to going to your next spot. Because if you put it in your trunk, you're leaving, you're not digging through anything inside because they're in the parking lots with you. They're watching everybody going in and out. Ladies, everyone knows most of all you ladies have a purse. When you're pumping gas, what do? You don't take your purse outside. Guess where your purse is at? In the front seat, because all you do is take your credit card or cash and you leave it there. Very rarely, but a lot of people do leave it. You have a small one, but a lot of these criminals know, hey, there's a young lady that just got out of her car. She has no purse. She has no wallet. She doesn't have anything. She just has her cell phone in her hand. 50-50 chance she left her purse in the front seat somewhere or tucked underneath the car.
Always remember to lock the alternate sides. If
Well,
you're standing nearby your car,
the thing is that-
your side locked for sure.
Oh, she's saying that, you know, when you're outside the car, lock the door. But as you can see, this is a vehicle burglary. It takes 2 seconds to break your windshield and in and out.
While you're pumping gas?
Yes, ma'am. You won't even have enough time to pull out your phone and call 911. They'll be gone before that even happens. Everyone's going to be standing around and go, what just happened? What just happened? Oh, she just got her car broken into. That's about 30 seconds in the wind already, and who's got the video? And the bad part is, if you're gonna be a witness, be a good witness. Don't be a witness that says, I think I saw the color of the car, I think I saw this, because if I have good witnesses tell me that the car was white, and then the other witnesses, I think it was black though, don't give us information we don't need. It doesn't help. If you see it, say it. If you don't add to it, because then now you're throwing us off, because now we're looking for a white or a black car. What is it? No, if you're going to be a witness, be a very good witness. These are things that criminals are looking for. Plain sight. All these things that they break into your car, remember, crime of opportunity. Crime of opportunity. You gave them the opportunity by leaving your stuff in the car. Again, it shouldn't be this way. I can leave my stuff. But criminals want to take anything they can. Their hands are going to be so itchy that see something in the car, they go, I have to take this. They're going to take it. These are some of the pictures that we have, and some of these pictures are actually in Temple City that we go to the parking lot, and we would actually see it yourself. So I recommend, if you want to try it, just go walking around the parking lot. And again, these guys are going to be like everyone else. Walking in the parking lot, looking into your car. When you go through a parking lot, just look through a car. I don't recommend don't touch the door handles because someone might call the police on you. And good people are the ones that get caught because we're just trying to figure out, hey, did it happen or not? Don't be that one. Just go and look and you will see some of these things that they do. They're gonna, you'll see jackets over something and they know what it is. Remember, criminals have evolved. We haven't evolved fast enough for these criminals. They're going to know that if you put a jacket and it looks a little bulkier than it should be, how to break that window and see what's underneath. And guess what it is? Your lunch pail with no food in it. It's not worth it. Take it with you, put it in your trunk, don't leave anything inside. Ways to protect yourself, again, have nothing available inside for them to look at. Make it uninteresting. It's crime of opportunity. If you don't make it interesting for them, they won't even look. They won't even waste their time. Keep your doors locked. We have everything we protect. We protect our phones and everything. We never forget our phones, but we forget to lock our doors, put everything away. Lock your doors. Set your alarms. A lot of people forget, oh, my alarm will set by itself. Make sure it's locked. Because, the cars these days, the alarms will not go off if the window is broken. It's not like the alarms of the 80s and 90s where, anyone just shakes your door the wrong way, the alarm will go off. These alarms or systems are different from the back in the day because it used to be motion sensors. They have a sensor where if the car shook too much, it would go off. But now these alarms, when you set your alarm, only if the door will open, it will set off the alarm. So they're just going to break the window and crawl in and grab whatever they can. So make sure you set your alarm. It's not safe when you just lock it yourself. Don't leave any property in plain sight, like I said. If you keep it like a brand new car, if you're looking into a dealer lot, it doesn't look very interesting inside, but it's just a car. Don't try to hide your valuables, jackets, blankets underneath the seat. Be aware of your surroundings, because look, they're going to be in the parking lot. Again, some people do leave their engine on and they go, just going to go in and pick up my Starbucks because I did a mobile order. My car is hot. People do that and cars get stolen. People get broken into. It's not worth it. Again, I don't need to carry my purse inside. I'm just going to go in and grab my Starbucks that I ordered onto the app and I'm just run in and out. Lock the door, and guess what? They're breaking into your car for your purse.
Going back to one of the points that Deputy Bowie said, if you want to put stuff in your trunk, please make sure you do so before you arrive your destination. Right. Don't do it in front of everybody, because then now they know your stuff is in your trunk. Yeah.
But luckily, if they do break in your car and they try to open the trunk, 90% of the time, your alarm will go off. Again, we're so used to hearing alarm and stuff. Would anyone pay attention? That's the thing. You might have that nosy neighbor that might find it, or the nosy person in the parking lot goes, hey, what's going on? But again, oh, is that normal? They just forgot to set their alarm and the alarm's going off. They don't know if a crime is occurring because nobody knows. And last, park your car in a secure place. When you park your car, even your driveway, it's secure, but how secure is it? You be the one that secures your car. Even in your driveway, it's not safe. You know, if you see someone driving around a bike at 3 o'clock in the morning, someone's going to remember, nothing good happens after dark, right? And if you see someone riding a bike, driving around, and like my partner said, you'll see vehicles driving slow down the street. If they're driving slow and they stop by your car and you know they don't belong there, that's something that you can do to call us and be aware. Again, it might not be enough for us to be crime, but if you get a license plate, it matches something that might have happened later. That we can pin a car to that license plate to that car. Just say it's a white Mercedes or something that you can say unique. And you saw that stop by a few cars down the street, that looked odd. But you got a license plate and you called it in. We will come and investigate it. The car may be gone, but they haven't committed a crime down the street or a couple blocks earlier that a white Mercedes was that same car. And guess what? We can match that car with that plate that, with that car that can make kind of a description, and now we have something. Because if we don't, all they had was a white Mercedes that drove by and broke into my car. How many white Mercedes do you see down the street or in a parking lot? But now that you saw this car driving up and down your street, slowly stopping car to car, now you have a license plate or even a partial plate will do wonders for us. So that's my part in vehicle burglaries. If you have any other questions, we're all here for you after. The next part is I'm going to send it to Deputy Felix for you right now.
Okay, we're going to be talking about traffic and pedestrian awareness. Distracted driving. So we have had an increase of car accidents. I'd say about over 90% is preventable. Somebody not paying attention. I know these new cars have new technology that should make it easier to not be distracted, but unfortunately with new apps and stuff like that, it does get distracting. We do have a lot of people on their phones, either on looking videos at YouTube, applications, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. Especially talking on the phone, we do see a lot of people on their phone, either they have it up to their ear or they have it up to their face on speaker or anything like that. Good thing to have is one of those cell phone mounts on your windshield or your dash, anything like that. And it's just a touch of a button. You can just hit it and then it'll either Bluetooth to connect to your phone or even play it on speaker, but just have it off of your hands because it is easier to drive and not be distracted holding up to your phone or up to your ear, okay? Texting, if you do get to see a lot of that also, a lot of accidents. If you do feel like you need to send that text message, pull over, send it, and then continue driving. Try not to, because obviously if you're texting, you got to look down on your phone, see where what you're going to send, and sometimes it doesn't send what you wanted to send, and you're spending time trying to fix it, all that stuff. I know there's Siri also, but Siri doesn't always get it right also, so now you're trying to fix it. It's very distracting. Even that 1 or a couple seconds looking down at your phone can cause an accident, even with a pedestrian or anything else, okay? Eating or drinking, that's a big one too. I'm not talking about drinking, your coffee on the way to work in the morning or anything like that. Something that's either difficult to open or even eating, a sandwich or a burrito, something you have to unwrap and it goes all over the place. Now you're worrying about cleaning it up and wiping yourself. And now you got one hand off the wheel again and trying to adjust if you drop it, all that stuff. So again, we suggest you just pull over, eat your meal real quick, and then continue driving. We'd rather get you, to your destination safe than be in an accident and get hurt, okay? Applying makeup, that's a big one too. We have seen some gruesome injuries with the car accidents, with the females adding, putting on makeup and that tool or that eyeliner, pencil, or anything like that does end up either cutting them in the face or getting impaled in your face or anything like that. So again, if you can, please pull over, finish up your makeup, make it to a parking lot or whatever. We'd rather get you somewhere safe, make it to the destination. Even if you're late, I'd rather you be there late than actually, be injured, okay? Taking a photo or video, we see a lot of that also. When people are passing car accidents, they like to video, when they see an incident, they like to pull over, or they like to stop in the middle of traffic, start videotaping, they like to videotape accident, take pictures, or some people even taking selfies of themselves. Please do not do that, okay? It's not worth it. There's no reason to have that picture of your, on your phone. You're probably gonna end up seeing it on the news later on anyway, so it's not worth it. It's not worth stopping traffic, you getting rear-ended, because you will be at fault for that, okay?
Can I check my phone and text when I'm at a stoplight?
No. So technically your car is running, you're still in control of the vehicle, so still, you cannot be on your phone even though you're stopped at a light or anything. Again, it's better to be on a mount and just hit your GPS or pull over. So no, you still will get pulled over or can. It still against the law, okay? Even if you're stopped at a light, you're still in control of your vehicle, the car's still running. Just like a DUI, you're still behind the wheel, you're still in control of your car, okay? This is a new law passed January 2025. So now it's illegal to park within 20 feet from the crosswalk or 15 feet from a curb extension, okay? So the easiest way to remind yourself is when you're coming up to a crosswalk if it's labeled or you see the white lines in there, I'd say about a car and a half length, do not park on that stop sign. Even though it's not labeled, it's not a red curb or anything like that, do not park there because it is against the law. It's an infraction, and public safety career here will probably end up giving you a citation or coming back to your car, and you'll see a ticket there, okay? So it's more for safety. It'll help visibility for pedestrians or other cars coming, especially when you're coming at a stop sign. If a car's pretty close to a stop sign, it's kind of hard to see who's coming up or when it's your turn to go. And it'll prevent a lot of accidents, a lot of people getting hit. Okay. So just remember, 20 feet from a crosswalk and 15 feet from a curb extension. So, and it's always going to be when you're coming up, you're on the right-hand side. Just remember that when you're coming up to a stop sign, on your right-hand side, about 15, 20 feet, it's about a car and a half lengths, okay? So if you think you have room, if you add your car on there and it's within 20 feet, you will get a ticket, okay?
What's a curb extension?
A curb extension is when there is no label or like there's no white lines and it's just a curb. You just see like a round or just a regular sidewalk. It's just pretty much coming up to the intersection and there's nothing labeled in front, just like say a stop sign.
That top left corner one, that would be your the extension. How you see it doesn't have any crosswalk lines or anything else like that. That top left corner one.
If it's not labeled, just think a car and a half lengths. Okay, it's probably the easiest way to remember. Big thing we have right now within the city is people riding e-bikes. So if you have a child or grandson or you yourself want to ride an e-bike, just remember you still have to abide by the bicycle laws. Okay, you still have to be on the bicycle lane. You still have to stop on the light. We see a lot of young children, a lot of teenagers riding their bike, just blowing through stop signs. They'll drive as a vehicle in the middle of the street. So we're really trying to prevent a really bad accident. Okay, so now it all depends also with the capacity of the e-bike. So if you don't know, you can always look at it. It should be by the battery, by the frame of the car when you buy it. Before you buy it, you can always ask. So the limit's going to be 750 watts, or if it exceeds 20 miles per hour, then you technically need a motorcycle license. Okay, if it's below that, then it's just a bicycle laws. But if it does exceed that or anything with an actual motor, like the mopeds or anything like that, then you will need a motorcycle's license. Okay, but If it's 20 miles per hour, less than the 750, then you still have to abide by the laws. Don't be blowing through red lights or anything, and you will have to wear a helmet. So, like I said, if you have a child, a grandson, anything like that, if you see them leaving the house without a helmet, buy them one or suggest they wear one, because technically if they're under 16, they have to be wearing a helmet, okay? And it will save their life if an accident happens, okay?
One thing, if I could jump in real
yeah.
quick, by state law, there are 3 different classifications of e-bikes that are allowed. And across the board for the 3 bikes, the common thing that you need to know is they have to have functioning pedals. So any of the 3 classifications, you can still operate like a regular bicycle. So it'll still have pedals and you can operate it normally like a regular bicycle, but they have electronic engines and they can be propelled that way. A lot of the bikes that you see a lot of young kids on look like motorcycles. They look like dirt bikes, and even though they're legal for those to be purchased, you can go pretty much anywhere to buy them. You can buy them online. They're not legal on the road. So it's legal to own, but it's not legal to be operated on the roadway. Some of those bikes go up to about 50 to 60 miles an hour. And you think about that, you're getting 13, 14, 15-year-old kids, even younger, on these bikes, and they're just zipping up and down the streets, and they don't really know the full dangers or really how to operate these bikes. So we're trying to bring this awareness to parents, when kids are saying, ooh, I want this because so-and-so has it. Just kind of be conscious of that and the dangers that kind of follow along with that.
Exactly. So we definitely are seeing more of that, and obviously if we do catch somebody or somebody under 18 even riding an electric bike or something that's not legal, we'll take it away and we will call the parents, and the likelihood of you getting it back is probably not going to happen because it shouldn't be in the road in the first place, okay? So it's a lot of money being thrown away, okay? And just take that second when you're at a light and it turns green, just take that 1 second to look around and then proceed, because again, we are seeing these kids just kind of running through these red lights. I don't know what it is, but they're not even willing to stop for us. So, and they're willing to zigzag through traffic, through small streets, and okay. So just take that quick second, take a look around, and it'll prevent it, an accident, and maybe somebody that's running their light will prevent that too. Okay. And also, this is CHP also offers a safety bicycle class on their website. So you want to take a look at that. They'll kind of give you more of the rules and regulations and what's allowed on the road. Okay.
Just to piggyback on that part, remember, they are underage. They are underage. Mom and dad, you guys are responsible for it. If they cause an accident, mom and dad are responsible for that accident. So remember, you are still responsible for your children under 18. So if they do anything wrong on an e-bike, if they cause any damage or property, mom and dad, you're still liable for it. So just give you a heads up on that.
And just to piggyback on that, I know we've been focusing a lot on e-bikes, but I mean, this pertains to e-scooters, pocket bikes, little lawnmower bikes. There's a lot of different types of just vehicles that are out there that these kids are really getting their hands on right now. And you just kind of need to be aware that if anything were to happen while these kids were using these bikes, you're going to be responsible, and there's going to be consequences behind that.
I have a question for you. What can an adult do, like, say for instance, like downtown LA, how those kids are riding on Figueroa? Last week, one of my supervisors got attacked because these youngsters were just, not listening to our rules and blah, blah, blah. So they attacked one of our supervisors. But what can he do to protect himself as an adult losing minors?
I mean, the best thing to do is to call. I mean, you can just kind of capture.
Every time that happens, LAPD's calls, but they don't do shit.
Yeah, and that's you're just gonna have to stay on that, and hopefully they show up. It's how you express that information to them. You let them know. If you call and you just say, hey, there's a bunch of kids on e-bikes, it's not really going to get that much of attention. But depending on what if they're driving recklessly, if they're harassing others, if they're riding on private property, if they're doing tricks or doing something in an area that they're not supposed to, that's creating a hazard for themselves or a hazard for others, those are things that you're going to want to express when you call. That's going to heighten that level of response, because it's going to now, just besides kids riding their bikes, they're actually doing something that's endangering themselves or endangering others.
But what as an adult can he do to defend himself?
You're never going to want to get into a situation where you're going to potentially put yourself in danger. The best thing you want to do is just observe and report, and just pass that information along so that we can have somebody respond and take care of it.
But he should carry like pepper spray or what?
I mean,
May I?
yes, please.
Anyone can defend themselves.
Yeah.
You're allowed to defend themselves.
But
You're
even though it's
not
like minors?
hold on. You're not required to be a victim.
Yeah.
Now, it always is going to come down to he said, she said, right? So if we get a call where two people were fighting and we can't prove who did what, then we're going to let the courts sort it out. And that is just the way it's going to be. That's just how it goes. No one has to be a victim. You don't have to stand there and get beat on. You're allowed to defend yourself. Just know, without witnesses, without anything, your word against their word, then we're going to let the courts sort it out. So most likely everybody's going to get a citation. We'll write the report. We'll say this person said this, that person said that, and the courts will ultimately determine what happened. If there's surveillance footage around the area, then a handling detective can do that to try to make the case better. We're not going to take a side. We're just going to present the facts as they were told to us without a corroborating witness, and that's all we can do. So that's all you can do.
What I've noticed with those two is the best thing to do is to not get involved. Obviously, if they go and they damage your car, or like the side mirror when they're cutting through traffic or whatever.
They were on the street and they came onto our property, and one of the supervisors were called, and the kids attacked him, and they just like got him on the ground and just started.
Yeah, if it's on property, the best thing to do is not even contact them. Just call law enforcement. Obviously, LAPD is a little bit different.
Yeah.
They have different volume calls, different area, and all this stuff. We deal with it a little bit different. We'll probably respond faster in a different way, but the best thing to do is to not contact them, to call us right away, record while it's happening.
Yeah, it's on video.
Because the last thing we want is for one person to contact 20, and now they're getting attacked by 20 at the same time. We don't know. You don't know. He can't even defend himself against the 20, and we don't know who assaulted who and all that stuff. So because we do see a lot of people trying to prevent. They see like 20 bikers, and they try to cut them off because they're upset that they're riding in the middle of the street and stuff like that. We suggest to not get involved. Try not to cut them off. Try not, just to call us and just, if there's damage, obviously take a picture, videotape, but to not engage, because now we're in a different situation. Now we're outnumbered, and we're the ones with the weapons, with the tactics, with the partners, and all that stuff. Okay. Any questions?
So here's an opportunity if anybody is interested to volunteer. Through Temple Sheriff Station, there's the Volunteer on Patrol program. So if anyone is interested and has curiosity about getting engaged and kind of serving the community, the Volunteers on Patrol do patrols throughout Temple City and surrounding areas. They help at various events, with the Sheriff Station. It's just a great way to get greater insight and be able to serve your community. As well as the Explorer program. So if there's anybody as early as
18. The youngest 18?
younger.
14 to 18.
14 to 18? 14 to 21. 14 to 20. 20.
14 to 20.
Yeah, 14 to 20. So for youth, 14 to 20, and they want to volunteer, the Explorer program is a great option. And they go through an academy. They get uniforms, and they participate in a variety of drills and activities. Again, help service the community, work at a variety of events. great way to, if somebody that has an interest in law enforcement, to really get a greater understanding of what that is, and hopefully propel their career. That's something that they want to do. So if anyone's interested, again, that information is in your packet. Please share it with anybody that you know you think could benefit from this, and serve the community. And again, in your packets, we have a variety of just contact information, just resources in case anybody ever needed any of these, this information. You know, obviously, Temple Sheriff's Station, non-emergency number and emergency line. County information line, so a lot of variety of county services. You can go through the 211, domestic violence, elder abuse, mental health, suicide hotline, and Humane Society if you guys have any issues with animals. So great resources. Take that last page and stick it on your fridge. It'd just be a great resource for you guys. And lastly, if anybody has any questions. Yes, sir.
Going to Deputy Anchando's presentation on home burglaries, I found that putting a dog bowl on the front porch and going to Sabres and getting men's size 13 shoes and putting it on the porch kind of helps.
There you go. It kind of goes along with posting of beware of dog signs. Yes, you know, something you kind of just, yeah, it's a good tip. Thank you. All right, you guys. Again, appreciate everybody coming out. Everybody was issued a raffle ticket. So we have a couple of raffle prizes out there for you guys.
We're going to make our new deputy pick the lucky winners.
How do you want to raffle off first?
And some of these prizes are, they can go into your emergency preparedness kit. Last three numbers, 712. These are whistles.